Uranium stocks are down, but the price of uranium is up. I'm going to explain exactly why uranium stocks are down today, and it's not too alarming to me. I'm also going to go over some very positive news not related to Kazakhstan in the uranium sector. We're also going to touch on Kazakhstan news and what that really means and where this is going to go in the long run. But hit that like and subscribe button below. We're going to jump right into it. So first off, I want to show you here, this is spot uranium. The ask is actually $46.50. So that is actually pretty big. Now uranium stocks, like we just said, are down today, and these are the ones that are the most down in the US markets. So almost 10%, a lot of these big uranium stocks. Now, one of the reasons why a lot of these stocks are down for the most part was the market somewhat was flat today. This is the market, but the main reason, Kazatomprom, which is the producer here in Kazakhstan, and they said that all operations are pretty much normal. A lot of new investors possibly that just jumped into this thinking it was going to be, a one-day thing, to possibly day trade it or swing trade it. They got in and they got out. They were spooked by the market, and now they think that this is over. Well, it's not really over. Although they say that uranium mining is going according to plan, there's a lot more to uranium than just mining, obviously. And, obviously a lot of this stuff, takes a lot of time. So with the uranium sector, if we're looking at this, this is not even close to being over. A lot of the protesters were actually saying that they're going to be coming back this weekend. So this is still something that we got to keep an eye on. Now, the world markets, were, pretty green, especially over there in China. Commodities are going up. I've been saying this before, that when inflation is going to be going up, a lot of these commodity prices will go up. So year to date already, we're just getting started. Look at the percentages here. And natural gas, coal, regular Euro gas, we've got uranium obviously going up like the past couple days, and crude oil as well. So this is something that is not going to end. Remember, this energy crisis started because of the prices of gas, over there, as well as the people started to want to revolt against the government. Now, a lot of bad things are still happening over there. One positive thing, though, we'll jump into before we touch on some other things, is in uranium, everyone knows about what happened with Fukushima. Well, Japan has really changed their mind back to nuclear, safe nuclear energy. So this just came out today. It said that Japan will support the development of next generation nuclear power technologies in cooperation with the United States and other partners. They're looking to help develop small modular reactors with U.S. companies such as NuScale Power and others. This is very, positive for the sector, because Japan, as everyone knows, you can see from a chart I have here, this shows all of the Japanese reactors that have been closed down, since Fukushima. Now, a lot of positive things have happened in relation to this recently. So they have restarted one of these in Ikata. So one of these reactors has been restarted here, and they're looking to possibly, with the small modular reactors, maybe they will actually be able to use them in this, this region where Fukushima was actually at. So this is still very positive for the sector. I think the fact that, the country that was hurt the most from nuclear energy, and, of course they have such a history there. If they're going to be supporting it, this is something very positive, especially the small modular reactors that are very safe. So this is something that I think is really good for the industry, especially as Europe looks to include nuclear energy as green energy. Touching back with Kazakhstan, like I said, this stuff is not going to be over in a day. This is the house of cards, as I call it, energy crisis that the world is really, a part of. And it's not going to end in one day. And these people are going to likely come back. Now, there's a lot of people that, they're actually calling them obviously terrorists if they're spreading, their political views with violence. And a lot of people were already killed. At least 18 people were killed. Military and servicemen, and they've actually, a lot of the civilians there that were protesting, they actually caught some of the military there as well, and police, and have them like captive. So obviously those people aren't peaceful protesters. There's a lot of stuff going on there, not just nuclear. They're exporter of of oil, and there's a big route through there all the way to Europe, obviously from there to China. So they're kind of like this middleman in a sense, but there's a lot of rich, commodities there. Nothing nothing's ever free, right? So Russia's sending these troops over there. Who knows what the ramifications long term are going to be? And it's really, you know, everything is on edge there. And just because, you know, Kazatomprom is saying that, you know, we can see their website's still down. Although operations are still normal, this is uncertainty. This is a lot more fragile. It really is, because obviously they're the number one producer of uranium in the whole world. And a lot of big companies, you know, and governments are looking to have their fuel still supplied by Kazatomprom. So the fact that their country is in, you know, turmoil, it still has the market on edge. I mean, as you can see here, there's a lot of stuff, you know, in this video. You can see there's a lot of damage that was done. And remember, these people, that's government buildings burned down. These people, you know, even the bad people doing this, there were protests, there were peaceful protesters, as we saw in the video before, the ones that just walked off the site of the oil, you know, refinery, you know, there, and they had hard hats. Obviously, those are the peaceful protesters. These people, these are really, it's really a terroristic act, but it's going to continue more than likely. And even if, you know, the Russian special forces that were sent in to remediate this, they leave, it's probably going to come back. And that, you know, constant uncertainty is probably going to continue spot prices going up in uranium. And although we've seen a big downturn day in uranium, you got to remember here, and I have this chart here, and I always look at this, the loss chart. So, you know, if a stock runs up, you know, 25%, in a day like we saw yesterday, it's not unlikely that the stock the next day is going to be down, you know, 5, maybe even 10%. And the same thing, if a stock's down today, you know, 10%, even more, 20%, there's actually a 25% upside. So, you know, there were people still buying today, a lot of people, but a lot of the people that came into the uranium, you know, yesterday, probably for the first time, or there's just swing trading it, they probably dumped it today. And then the fact that, you know, people were reading into the supply that Kazatomprom says that was not affected, the mining and just their whole operations, they're kind of reading into this, in my opinion, and looking at it from the wrong aspect. You got to look at this long term. This is a long-term energy crisis. You know, these people aren't going to just go back to their homes and put their tail between their legs, the ones that walked off, you know, the sites and stuff. And even the people, the terroristic people, they're going to probably still go out and wreak havoc, because to them it's to change the government. They're tired of it, obviously. So I don't see uranium spot going down from here. I see it only going up. Spot continues to move. You know, if we break over $50, which we're seeing, you know, 50 cents, $1 a day, if this continues, right now it's pretty early, but we'll see what Sprott Physical Uranium Trust did today. They probably were the ones pushing up the spot price, because look, we're about to be $47, and that means they're probably buying more, you know, 500,000-600,000 pounds of uranium, maybe even 1 million pounds. You never know. But the less spot uranium out there, the more, you know, I think that utilities are going to come in to probably look to do these long-term contracts. And who knows, it might have been utility companies or, you know, traders buying up spot because they think, you know, uranium price is going to go up. These uranium stocks are leverage plays on the price of uranium. So as uranium goes up, the stocks are probably likely going to go up a lot higher in the future. But I'm very bullish uranium. Nothing to me, I'm not worried. Nothing to me seems out of the norm. This is pretty much normal for uranium stocks. The volatility in uranium stocks go up 10-20% in a day, and they go down 10%. One last thing, I do think tomorrow, Friday, you know, especially if the market somewhat sells off, being a Friday, we might see another red day for uranium, but not likely. You know, especially if Sprott bought up a lot of uranium and it goes up again tomorrow, buyers might be back tomorrow. Who knows? And if you guys like this video, hit the like and subscribe button below, and I'll continue to make them.